We are live. Oh my God, it's so exciting to be here tonight. I am always excited. And, that moment when we go live is just, it's always exhilarating. So,
Mm.
anyway, here we are. We're live. We're ready to talk to you. We're having a great time. Mia, hey,
Yes,
great to
yes.
see you. C Bliss, Miss M. Yeah, please hit that like button, subscribe, and the little bell icon so you can get notification every time we go live. And yeah, let's just dive right into this tonight. So, sorry, I'm pulling up my list because we have another listicle type show tonight. Um,
Except not nearly as annoying.
wait, are listicles annoying? I think that they're
Oh,
kind of helpful.
the ones that are like
Clickbait. That's
yeah, like each page makes you click next page to get
oh,
to the next item on the list.
yes,
Like
yes,
those are horrible.
yeah. Those are horrible. Yeah, we're not doing that tonight. We're gonna try to be pretty clear.
Right.
Yeah. And for those of you who are new here or don't know, this is Arian, who is otherwise known as Real Knowledge on Instagram, and I am Ade, the Black Carnivore. So you can find me on Instagram at Black Carnivore, and yeah, I guess most places. Oh, Twitter. Well, don't contact me on Twitter. Like I'm just barely getting the hang of it. So just focus on Instagram. And then you can always go to our Facebook group, which is Black Carnivore, and then of course we're here. So welcome. And hey, more people are dropping in. Great to see you, Abigail, Denise, Miss Tady. I am so excited to see you guys. One thing I wanted to let you know about is, well, one, we're doing, so we got monetized and we have super chats and super stickers, which is really fun and awesome. So if you are in the live chat at the bottom of the chat screen, you should be able to see an icon of a dollar sign. So you can click on that and you can make a contribution in any amount that you would like to support the free programming that we hope to always provide here. Or you can purchase a sticker. I'm not really clear on why people do that, but I love it anyway. So go ahead and do it if you feel the need.
I mean, hey, they look cool. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, everyone loves stickers. And if you are into planners or planning at all, you know what I'm talking about. You know, stickers are awesome. So, yeah, get your stickers.
Yeah.
And then also I relaunched my Patreon page, so you can head over to Patreon and look for me, Black Carnivore, and you should be able to check out my stuff. So I'm always going to have some public stuff there. I put up my first blog post, so I encourage you to go and read it. It tells you a little bit about how the Black Carnivore community came to be organized and how we came to be. So, we are still in our nascent stages. So, it's very early yet, but still there are many people who weren't here that, right in the beginning. And so I encourage you to check it out and hear a little bit more about where we came from. Oh, awesome. Arian put the link in the chat. Awesome. Okay, so hey, Chase and Melvina and Black Focus and Bayet and yeah, and Arian. So great to see you all.
You can welcome me too
Yeah,
while we're at it.
love it. Love it. So let's dive into today's topic, which is 5 signs your carnivore diet is working. So if you checked out the thumbnail for today, it is a woman relaxing in the bathtub, sure and confident in the success of her carnivore diet. So, or that's what you should imagine anyway. But so often we get questions from people saying, that they think it's not working and they're not seeing weight loss and the scale isn't moving. And today we wanted to talk about some of the top signs that that this diet is working, and it just is going to take time and some patience. So you want to prioritize patience.
You like that?
I was waiting for Arian to laugh because that was his alliteration. He came up with that. It didn't quite work on the thumbnail, but it is, I still think, a great phrase. So tonight we're going to talk about prioritizing um, patience.
It, Yeah, because a
Hmm.
lot of times you will feel like, well, I think it's probably part of everybody's journey, or if not everybody, maybe like most people, that at least at some point you'll feel like nothing's happening. I don't know if I'm doing this right. And then you
Hmm.
get that urge to go screw with everything.
Hmm.
What if I
I
eat more?
know.
What if I eat less? What if I eat at different times? What if I add this thing in? Maybe it's herbs. Maybe I should add herbs. Maybe I should take them away.
Hmm. And then we tend to do that like all at once too. So you can't tell what worked and what the changes were and what the impact was.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Too many variables. And then you have no idea what's going on.
Hmm. Yeah. So okay. So let's start like we did last time with um, number five. So our fifth, the fifth thing on our list that improves when you go on a carnivore diet that's not scale related.
Hmm.
So do you want to start with that one? That one's
Oh,
yours.
sorry. I was not prepared to actually read things off the list. Let me go to it. So number five, digestion improves. So for a lot of people, I would say, what am I? Can you still see me?
You're frozen, but I can hear you.
Okay. Am I
Let
still
me
froze?
turn off your camera and then try to turn it back on again.
Jeez, what happened? Yeah, my whole. All right, so like Skype's working for me now, but like the whole computer went black and then came back up.
You're frozen for me on Skype too. So,
Ah, okay. Let me turn.
oh, well, yeah, yeah, you're still frozen. You want to hang up and call back in? Um, hmm. So, well, anyway, so let's just start ahead and go ahead and figure out the first one. So, so digestion improves for a lot of people. Digestion is a major problem, of course, and typically, I mean, a lot of times people even come to the carnivore diet because of digestion problems. So it's not uncommon to see some benefit there. But there are some things that improve, that you might not even expect. For example, some of the things that can improve are like acid reflux. That's one of the things. Hey, Arian is back,
There we
and
go.
yeah, he is ready. Okay, there we go. So I was just saying that one of the things that seems to improve for people a lot is acid reflux, and that's often something that people aren't really thinking about or even paying attention to as something that can be healed. I mean, they're focusing on weight or some other problem, and then that is like it's just like bonus.
Yeah, yeah. It just comes out of nowhere, and it often, for a lot of people, it heals very quickly.
Hmm.
And I wonder if that's because, so I don't know if you had this experience, but like a lot of people, they lose their visceral fat first, and the visceral fat is pushing on your organs, so it's also pushing on your stomach too, as as well as the other ones in there in that abdominal cavity. I wonder if that is all of a sudden that's better, or your visceral fat's getting smaller, and your stomach acid is all of a sudden stronger because your body is getting what it needs from it's getting nutrients again, and like yeah, reflux goes away pretty quickly for a lot of people.
Hmm. Yeah. And and it's also because of not having sugar. I mean, sugar is one of the main things that that can contribute to acid reflux as well. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that seem to contribute to it. I mean, it sounds like, from what we've heard from Dr. Ali and others, that, not having enough stomach acid can contribute to it, and other kinds of digestion problems. But then the solution is giving you antacids, which seems to make the
Right.
problem worse. And I'm kind of like, I don't really, that seems like things that makes things worse.
the logic, I guess, is like, well, the acid is hurting you, so we want to make you have less acid, but the acid's only hurting because there's not enough of it to stop it from coming all up into your throat.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have it up in your throat, it would be fine. Like, we're supposed to have really acidic stomachs. So yeah, it's this like misunderstanding of anatomy and the mechanism of digestion, and they just go, oh, okay, take this pill, and it just lowers your stomach acid, and then that can cause like ulcers and H. pylori infections, which are
Mm-hmm.
horrible. I've
Yeah.
never had it, but I've heard it's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely is not good. You don't want any of those kinds of infections and things.
No, no,
So,
no.
yeah. And I see we have somebody who is new to carnivore here, Candy Eyes. And she says, feeling good so far, definitely noticing less bloating. So, less bloating, that's another one.
Yeah, that's an awesome name too. While we're on it,
Candy
can't
Eyes.
Candy Eyes and spelled that way. That's a dope name.
Yeah. It's definitely better than, other, candy in other forms. It's better, Candy Eyes. It's cool.
Right. If
Yeah.
you're gonna be sweet anywhere, be the eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Um,
that's better. Did you talk about the lack of indigestion?
yeah. In lack of indigestion is awesome. And I always felt like in the old days, I just felt my stomach was just unpredictable. Just didn't know what was going to happen. And
Yeah.
it's so nice to like never have to ponder, am I going to have a problem? Is my stomach going to be upset? Is this food going to upset me? Never have to worry about that now.
Right. Yeah. Just on a regular basis, being able to know like I don't have to worry about bad times at any time. And every time you do, you can like point back to, oh, well, I did this stupid thing. I
Hmm.
ate out and I don't know what they cooked the food in or something like that. But for the most part, when you're cooking your own food, you're just like, every day is just a normal day. And you realize, like, oh, I can digest food. This isn't just a part of life that I just have to get used to forever. I can just
Yeah.
digest food with no problems.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the way it's supposed to be, right? I used to think like, man, like they can't. I mean, I can't imagine animals in the wild being able to live very long if they're like constantly stopping to go to the bathroom. I mean, you know, like that's just not going to work. So,
It's like the the cartoon. I can't remember their names now, but I think it was a wolf and a sheepdog, and they would go to work where one's trying to eat the sheep and the other's protecting them, and then they clock out at the end of the day. Like imagine them like just like I need a bathroom break. Give me 5 minutes. We'll come back. That sheep has to stay in the same spot, but I gotta go. I gotta handle this real quick, and then I'll be back, and we can get back to what we were doing. Like life doesn't work that way, and it's really annoying when you want it to, and it's just not going to. Like
yeah.
you can't take
Although it
breaks all the
does,
time.
that does make me think of that chapter in All Quiet on the Western Front. It was about
Mm.
World War I, where they did for Christmas Day, like they took a break from fighting, exchanged some gifts, and were like, "Hey, Merry Christmas."
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So occasionally there is a little humanity in us.
I
Um,
actually did read that book.
yeah, yeah. Um, so um, anyway, I think that's, I think number 5 is good. So digestion improves. And you should really consider this a massive sign of progress and a sign of well-being. Like once your stomach calms down, like you can now fully engage in life and not be like partially present because
Hmm.
you are comfortable.
Right.
Mhm.
Before we
Okay,
go
so
off that, I think there's a
oh, okay.
question.
Go ahead.
So Denise asks, "What is the HCL regime?" So it's as simple as grabbing some HCL with pepsin pills, and you start off taking one with, especially if you're carnivore, it's going to be one with a meal. Like you don't have to worry about if it's a protein heavy meal. All your meals are going to be protein heavy, and so you're going to take one with that meal. and you're going to note how you feel afterwards. You should notice some relief in symptoms, but it may not be complete relief. If you feel a like heaviness in your stomach or any heat in your stomach, then that is your dosage. If not, then you're going to go up by 1 pill on the next meal that you have. So you can increase your dosage as you go further in meal, or any sort of like comfort in your stomach. You
Arian,
okay?
you're breaking up again.
Oh, damn it. All right. I'm like deep in the explanation. Okay, so what was the
I think we only missed a word or two, so
okay.
just keep going.
All right. So they mostly got it. So yeah, you're just gonna find at what dosage you feel a little discomfort, and then you know that your dosage to stick with is one under that. And actually, Ada, you've got a really good video that explains this more succinctly than I'm doing right now. But
Oh, that's right, of course. So the common problems, common solutions video on on my YouTube channel is it explains the regimen and how to do it. So definitely take a look at that.
mhm. But then actually, so now I'm saying that she says fat isn't her friend. Um, that may be HCL. It may just be that you need time to build up the capacity to use more fat. Because we've had other people who've tried HCL for fat digestion and it didn't help them at all.
Yeah, so ox bile is something that people talk about, but we're gonna have to do some more research and kind of figure that out.
Yeah, because I'm not sure that that really works either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know
So,
for me, it was protein. Like I could do the test to see if it was if I was having low stomach acid problems, and I failed those tests. Like I was almost certain that it was the protein that I was eating that was causing me problems. It was consistent with what people say are the symptoms of poor poor stomach acid production.
hmm yeah.
Whereas if it's just fat, that I don't know that stomach acid really solves that problem. It doesn't seem like it does.
Yeah. So I saw another question in the chat. Let's see. Mia also says it took her months to get used to fat, but then again, she didn't have HCL. I
Mhm.
think that just might be a thing for everybody. It just takes time to get used to fat. That's all. Um, and I get unused to it the less I eat. So, like the last couple of days or the last week, I've been experimenting with fasting. And so, I want my next meal to be, a nice big fatty meal. And my stomach's like, no, no. So there's that. There's been that.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
it's just a constant evolution. I just don't think, and I don't think we're meant to eat the same amount of fat every day. I mean, protein is one of those things where there is an absolute amount that you need to eat in
Yeah.
order to provide the basic functions that your body needs, and perhaps there is benefit to eating more over that number. um, but with fat, that's the lever for for all the energy you're expending. So if you're
Mm.
expending a lot, you're going to be able to take in a lot. If you're not, then you're going to have a limit there. And so you might not need to have a ton. I mean, I guess the question would be, are you feeling like run down, like you're not getting enough calories? Because that's really the sign that you're not getting enough fat. And if that's not happening, it's just that you're not hitting an arbitrary, percentage or macronutrient, or you want to have bulletproof coffee in the morning or whatever, then that's not really a reason to try to take ox bile or whatnot.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like you said, like how much fat is she getting, and how does she really are in fact, Denise, if you can answer this in the chat, like, are you trying to eat more fat because you want more, or because someone told you, or you just have this feeling that you should have more?
I think that's a great question, and I would like to hear the answer to that. But while we wait on Denise,
Right.
Um, uh,
And let me
I
adjust my
think that's how
camera a
you
bit.
said. We talked about this the other night. I'm not sure if I remember that that was the right thing, but she
I
said
think so.
okay, with better digestion, a better uptake of vitamins and minerals, she's having to reduce the supplements she's taking.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
brava.
That's great.
But that's a really important point that when you're able to digest your food, you're actually able to absorb nutrients and you get benefit from eating that food. When your digestion is poor, you're not even able to extract what's beneficial out of the food. And that's bad. That's not helpful
Right.
at all.
Yeah. So I that's great. And I think that would be my goal for pretty much everybody is to eventually get off supplements altogether.
Hmm.
To just get what you need from what you eat.
Hmm. Yeah.
All right. Now I'm too low.
So Siebla says at this point she can't go a long period of time without eating and then eat a high fat meal. So yeah, ditto. I'm learning that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and so Mia says she's been seeing me in the Life Fasting app and she's proud of us, proud of me. Yeah, I know. So I've been in there. I forgot to end my fast earlier today, so it looks like I'm still fasting, but I'm gonna kick it up again. So yeah, I've been, kind of pushing on through. And something that has helped me, although this is radical, and don't do this, if you don't feel up to it, but something that has helped me was to dry fast. So not having any beverages or anything just between, whenever my eating window is. But during that eating window, I try to get the 2 liters in.
Hmm.
Yeah. But not I mean, I feel like that helps me with the whole hydration issue. So I'm not like, rinsing out my electrolytes. And also it helps like I don't get hungry because I think even water kind of wakes up the stomach like, hey, let's get ready. And then there's nothing. So I feel like I don't have as many cravings. I'm not hungry in the same way.
That does that does make sense a bit. That especially because a lot of times the water we're drinking, like unless you're drinking like really mineralized water, it's gonna be pure water. There's nothing else in it. And a lot of times we're filtering water so that there is specifically is nothing in it. So it would I forget what you call it, but it would leach your electrolytes if you're drinking it a bunch while you're fasting because you're
Oh,
not taking any.
like distilled water. That's why they say very clearly don't drink distilled water while you're fasting because it doesn't have any electrolytes in it.
Oh, really? They
Yeah.
say don't drink. Oh.
Yeah, because distilled water is I don't know, when you make water, like you extract it out of something or you combine the molecules, it doesn't have
Mm.
anything else in it. So it would leach out your electrolytes, even if you're, I mean, it's not good to drink it all the time, even if you're eating.
Mm. Hmm. Wow. It makes sense though. And it makes sense. So then that's why a lot of people, if they do, I guess, I don't know, do you call it wet fasting or just fasting with water?
I guess you call it water fasting. I don't know.
Probably. That's probably it. Definitely
Yeah.
not wet fasting. That just sounds weird. But
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I think that a lot of people, well, some people, I know like that cold dude with the snake juice diet, he'll say like you
Mhm.
got to put electrolytes in your water if you're going to do that.
If you're gonna wet fast, yes, you
Yeah.
absolutely do. Yeah, yeah. So Mia says she dry fasted for 3 days a long while ago and wasn't hungry.
Hmm.
So yeah, I definitely do notice that. That's pretty cool. Um, let's see. Chase asks, how can I stop carb cravings and actually get full? I've been on and off carnivore for 2 months because of my IBS flare-ups and I stay hungry.
Hmm.
Hmm.
How can you stop carb cravings and actually get full? What are you eating that you're not full?
I don't know. I find that when I'm like kind of going on and off and on and off and having little, cheats here and there, I'm not burning fat as well, and so I'm more likely to be hungry and have cravings. But if I can get, 2 weeks solidly under my belt where there's, no dalliance whatsoever, then all of that goes away and I am able to get full.
Mm.
So I wonder if, if Chase, the problem is that you've been on and off for quite a while, and so, you're just those cravings are just kicked up and you just kind of got to power through. Um, but
It,
the flare-ups suck, so.
yeah.
But how are
Um,
flare-ups improved by being off of carnivore?
that's what I'm wondering. Or I'm wondering if actually what's happening is because yeah, it's kind of we're talking about two problems in the same couple sentences, and it's the sequence is a little confusing. I'm wondering if he's actually having the flare-ups, and then he says, "Well, I got to go carnivore," and then he goes carnivore, and he's not full, and he's not satisfied, so then he eats carbs again, and then the flare-ups come back, and it's like this cycle. And if that's the case, I would say when you are a carnivore, when you're on it, maybe you just need to eat more or just accept that like you won't be full in that moment and you can always eat again. There's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that. Like if your body, especially if you're not reacting poorly to the food, like go ahead and just keep eating.
Hmm.
Cook way more than you think you need.
But don't eat more at once. I would think, especially if you're having any kind of stomach problems, that you should eat small meals. So eat more meals, eat more often in the day. Don't eat more at one time.
Yeah.
And I see Carnivore Mystics as they put peppermint oil in the HCl supplements, and that seems awful. Why
Right.
is that happening? I don't know. That's terrible. Go find a different brand.
Yeah, yeah. The
Wow.
kind I have are from the I think it's the Vitamin Shop brand, and yeah, they don't have anything else in them besides the HCl. They don't taste like anything.
Yeah,
That
that
that would
sucks.
annoy the crap out of me. Like we just
Uh-huh.
when it's a thing that you want and there's no possible way that you can get it from other places, like I need you to just make it and for it to be pure. Don't add crap to it. Why would you put peppermint oil in HCl?
Yeah.
I don't even it's not supposed to taste good.
Well, we are conditioned to that things should taste good all the time here in America. So,
Yeah, I guess so. Ugh.
yeah. Well, Chase says he doesn't eat a lot of fat because an overload of fat is an IBS trigger. So
Mhm.
if you're not getting enough fat, that could make you leave you feeling kind of hungry. But I would think the solution is to eat more fat. I mean, eat fat more often throughout the day so that you're having smaller amounts at each time. Um,
Yeah.
and to eat solid fat, don't eat liquid fat. So, eat like suet, and when fat is cold, eat it, because it won't run through you as quickly.
Yeah, I if that's happening, then it's definitely too much fat at one time. What I find to be helpful is the fat with protein as opposed to fat by itself, um, and definitely solid fat over liquid fat. Like if it's already been rendered, I have to eat a small amount at a time to be okay.
Yeah. And I see Candy Eyes is asking if it's okay to drink zero sugar Gatorade. So, Candy Eyes, I bet you probably want to take a look at our video. What was it? The diet soda one?
What did we call it?
Oh, I can't remember now.
I can't
Um,
even.
Yeah, but no. Well, if you can, it is better to move off the artificial sweeteners. Some people seem to be able to handle it great, but a lot of people don't. So we recommend that you move to water, or however you want to handle that. But in the beginning, it's not great to fast all day. You've got a lot that you're doing. You're trying to get your body used to a whole new system. So no need to fast right now. Just eat, bring some food with you, um, something.
Yeah. Oh, so is she drinking the diet Gatorade and fasting?
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're new. There's no need to fast. Absolutely no need to fast.
Yeah.
Just live. Just eat naturally. Like your body will fall into fasting. You don't need to try to fast. It's just
Hmm.
gonna happen. Aday's trying because she has very specific goals and she's pretty much stable in carnivore. That makes sense. But as a new person who's just trying to heal some stuff and probably most likely get fat adapted because you probably aren't already, that's all you need to focus on.
Yeah. And there's still more talk in the chat about the peppermint oil. So yeah, peppermint oil is supposed to be, helpful for the stomach and digestion. But if you have a histamine problem like me, it's going to be terrible. Don't do
Hmm.
it. Yeah.
And I would just like, I want as few variables as possible. So if I'm looking for HCl, I just want HCl. Don't add crap to it.
Hmm.
Um, oh, that's frustrating. So maybe this is something they started doing. I mean, because I bought my HCl pills like probably 2 years ago now. Like maybe this is new. Maybe mine does have peppermint and I just didn't realize. But that annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, like we talked about in the last live, you really just got to look at labels. And even when you think you don't have to look at labels, you still have to look at labels. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing artificial sweeteners in like body lotions and body scrubs and stuff like that, because people want things sweet. I would not be surprised.
Oh yeah. And that's part of the reason like I get really 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 simple like soap and stuff because I don't want all that crap on me. I don't know what that stuff is. I don't know what it's doing to my skin. I don't want it.
Hmm. Yeah. I actually bought some soap made of tallow, and I've been using tallow as lotion for the last couple of days as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So the tallow that I'm using now, I love it on my skin, and it really does leave me feeling softer and more moisturized than I've ever felt before. It
Hmm.
does have a slightly delicious taste to it. I'm not gonna lie. Slightly meaty, slightly delicious.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that that part of the smell kind of dissipates throughout the course of the day, but I don't spend time with a lot of people, just my dog. So, who cannot give me an accurate
Right. Like
assessment of
the dog was
myself.
already licking you, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't tell the difference. I
Yeah.
would imagine that in the amounts that you're gonna put it on your skin and then it's going to absorb in. The smell is going to be like wafting off your skin as like time goes on. Yeah, I doubt it's staying on you for long, but even if it does, it's not a bad smell.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that's cool though. So yeah, I actually recently in the past few months have been using a soap from tallow too. That's just simply like tallow and lye and water, like really really simple ingredients. And
Hmm.
I normally put tallow on my skin too. Every once in a while, I use a scented shea butter thing.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to talk about the next one, which is fourth sign that your carnivore diet is working is that your sleep gets more restorative in less time. So
Yeah,
is that something you've noticed too?
yeah, totally. Especially when I completely stopped drinking coffee. Those first few days, I would wake up like somewhere from 4 to 4:30 in the morning on my own, like completely rested. Like I was
Hmm.
going to sleep at what probably is the best hour for me, like something around 10 p.m., 10:30, and yeah, wake up stupid early. The sun's not even out yet, and I was really like just completely alert at that time and alert throughout the entire day. So I've been trying to get back there, but I haven't been able to go to sleep that early in a while.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the sleep got way better, and also the sleep got way better. This My snoring went away completely.
Nice. Wow. So you were still having some snoring even after being carnivore for a while.
Oh, no, no, no. Just in being carnivore, my snoring got
Oh,
better.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so I didn't for me it took t getting rid of dairy before my snoring like really resolved.
Mm.
But you know, but my sleep got a lot better. It was more just more restorative, you know, so I just didn't need to sleep as long to, you know, to get to feeling good. And now that I too have taken out coffee again, my sleep is, you know, it's kind of all over the place, I find. But I find that I can fall asleep whenever I lay down, get up whenever I have to get up. And if I need to take a nap, I can lay down, do that, and get up. And, you know, it's not like a whole big thing to fall asleep. And, you know, it's just not a whole big thing.
Oh, like it's not hard to do.
Yeah, yeah. Like I can take naps, I can get more sleep in, and I can feel rested, and it doesn't feel like it's just not enough.
Yeah. Like, so today so yesterday we were on the Zoom and I didn't that we went really late. Yesterday's Zoom was it was an entire mess. So we were on there till late, and then I went to sleep probably around like 12ish, maybe a little later. And I definitely agree with what you said in one of our past lives that like sleep needs to occur at a certain time in order for it to be the
Hmm.
most effective.
Hmm.
And 12 is too late for me. 12 is not that time. So I did end up taking a nap today, but now I feel great. And that nap was only about an hour.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent, excellent. So I'm seeing a few comments in the chat.
Mm.
Cody says, if you're putting tallow on your skin, are you really fasting?
That's a good question. I
Uh,
wonder how much of that fat is being absorbed through the skin.
um, you know, I've been having a lot of these sort of existential questions. Yeah, like theoretical questions. Um, so having a so I my boyfriend was drinking some whiskey, no rum, and so I was smelling it, and I loved the way it smelled. So I poured myself a glass, which I just smelled. So I never drank it. I just smelled it. But the question is, you know, am I absorbing any alcohol just through the fumes?
Probably
So
so.
yeah, and I was like, so you know, like I didn't get drunk, I didn't have a hangover,
Hmm.
so I wonder if that counts. But yeah, you know, like my nose hairs curl a little with some of the, you know, the strength of the alcohol vapor. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, so that's an existential question. And
Right.
also, while fasting, I took a long bath. But in the book I was reading, they suggested you do take long baths or you know, regularly get in water because it helps flush out stuff, even if it's not going through your digestive tract.
Mm.
So yeah, and
Mm.
I put Epsom salts in that bath too. So
Interesting.
all kinds of my skin has been like doing double duty in terms of absorption the last couple of days or a week.
I mean, it is the largest organ in the body.
Hmm. It is. It
Yeah, it does
is.
a lot of work. And if you like when you paint over it so that your skin can't breathe, like you will eventually suffocate if you leave that paint on there for too long.
That's right. Isn't that what happened to Goldfinger? Or, you know, who was that? One of the bad guys in one of the 007 movies. He, you know, he painted the
Oh,
girl with gold paint and she suffocated or something.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be Goldfinger. See, I was thinking of Gold Dust, the wrestler, but that's definitely not who you were talking about.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And Siebla says she's too greedy to use tallow on her skin. Yeah, this was fancy tallow too, but you know, like it fancy skin is it's worth it. So,
See, I wish my tallow, I always end up with too much. So I have a ton of tallow right now, and I really don't know what to do with it because I have enough soap. I don't need to make more out of it. But yeah, at some point, I probably will.
wait, have you made soap from your tallow before?
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah.
I had no idea that you were this talented. How do you make soap from
Oh,
tallow?
it's so simple. Um, you you heat up the tallow until it's like melted, and you put in so some people actually do theirs in a crock pot, but yeah, the tallow's in there and it's melting, and you use a certain amount of lye, the same lye that goes in like what's it called, the the stuff for drains. I'm just
Drano?
work. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you can also just use straight up lye. Like you can put lye
Wait,
and
I'm
water
sorry.
in a
You put
drain.
Drano in your crock pot with the tallow to make
No,
the
no, no,
soap.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
Lye is in
Okay.
the things that can
Oh.
clean your drains. It's an ingredient because lye is this like really, really strong acid. Um,
So where do you get the lye? Like Home Depot or
you,
Amazon?
you can, yeah. I think I ordered mine from Amazon, but yeah, I'm sure Home Depot has it, and it'll be right there along with the Drano and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, there's like
Okay.
you mix that with the an amount of water, and you have to use a specific amount of lye so that you leave a little bit of the fat that will be unconverted. Otherwise, you'll have some unused lye in your soap, and then your soap's gonna burn, and we don't want that. Like we're not trying to perm our body hair, so we don't want to do that. So you definitely use a little less lye than you would need for all the fat that you have. And yeah, you just like you mix it up with your immersion blender. Um, yeah, and eventually it gets like thick and puddingy, like the consistency of a lumpy pudding, and then you put it on a mold and let that sit. All right, Mia wants the recipe, so I'm not prepared to do that, but we can definitely talk about that at some point.
I, agreed. We definitely need a recipe. And oh my gosh, why, I spent like what, $7.50 on a bar of this tallow soap, and I could be making it myself. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. If you're like me and you have a ton of tallow laying around, do something with
Or
it.
you can just buy it. I mean, I definitely enjoy using the tallow soap. It does, again, it does kind of smell like suet.
Hmm.
It smells like what it is, but it is really rich. The lather is so rich and moisturizing. Like I definitely notice a difference using that than Dr. Bonner soap or whatever else I've been using.
Hmm. And you know
Yeah,
exactly what's in it.
yeah, tallow, lye, and
Right.
water.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so there you go. And actually, we've got a ton of people here, so please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you can get notification every time we go live. This is an awesome show, and here we go. Arian is revealing like hidden talents, even though we talked about using lye for lotion on the last live, you still did not mention this soap making, not theoretical skill, but actual skill. You've actually done
Tallow. We talked about tallow for lotion, not lye. We want to make sure no one's putting lye
it.
on their
Sorry.
skin.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. Yes. Tallow for lotion, not lye. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we talked about that, and that would have been, pretty awesome information to share. So I am, duly impressed, Arian.
Nice.
Um, okay, so let's go on to the next one. Number three, libido returns in full force.
So I will let A take that away.
I don't know if a whole lot more needs to be said. You just, a lot more interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing. A lot of people have talked about it. I'm sure there's a ton of people in the chat who have felt it. Like you go carnivore for a while, your body is getting the nutrients that it needs. It's finally running on all cylinders, and you start eyeing up whoever's around or whoever you are dating or married to, and they better be ready. You better get them on the carnivore diet too.
And from the woman's perspective, a lot of times, like, your libido is very connected to your hormones, and if your hormones are out of whack, that can get messed up as well. And so
It
once,
did it again.
things start, yeah, you're frozen again. So once things start, getting back in order, you can find that you're, a lot more excited and a lot more ready. And that's a good thing. So, you definitely want to, to support that and kind of go with it. And I know we have talked about that before quite a bit, where people really do notice the libido thing having, there being a big effect. So there you go.
Right. And
Um, hmm
did somebody mention? I saw in the thing. Oh, Cody was going to say blood flows better. Yeah. Yep. Getting
Yeah.
your blood pressure under control for men will improve if you're having ED problems. A lot of
hmm
times it'll take those away.
Yeah. In fact, ED is often a sign for cardiovascular disease or even diabetes. Like, it's definitely a vascular problem.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. So I don't know if we need to say much more than that, except that, it's a great reason. If nothing else, that's a great reason to, get on the carnivore diet and just, give it time. And it's a great sign that things are going well.
Right. And so when I was off, you talked about hormones getting back
hmm
into check.
hmm Yeah.
Okay, good. And was that just about women, or did you talk about men too?
Just talked about men. I don't know about men. I mean, just talked about women. I don't know what men's hormones do.
Oh, well, they do a lot less than y'all's hormones do. We have a lot less complicated immune system. But what guys may not realize, and what I'm coming to learn, is that your fat actually acts as it releases estrogen, like under the influence of high amounts of insulin. Or is it releasing estrogen, or is it turning the testosterone into estrogen, there's something where like
I
having
I'm not
having
sure,
more
but
fat,
hmm
um it
it
does.
feminizes you.
Yes, so it's not even just that, oh, I'm fat and I've got moves, but your um the amount of fat that you have is further destabilizing your
hmm
testosterone levels.
hmm Yeah. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah, so not what you want.
yeah. And I know I've heard Dr. Mike Leeds talk a lot. He does this presentation on uh, Egypt, ancient Egypt, and like the diets that they had, and looking at their statuary and their art as to kind of talk about their how their bodies respond to eating the way that they did. And I guess in what was he saying? In the hieroglyphs are very stylized, but the statuary was more realistic. And so a lot of times the men would have like man boobs and big
Mm,
stomachs. And he was, saying, "Hey, this is what happens when you get fat." And it's a sign of this hormonal problem where you have too much estrogen going on and too much, and usually a sign of, type 2 diabetes.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that for all of our holding up Egypt as like this ideal civilization to try to pattern ourselves after,
hmm
maybe in other areas, but not their diet.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, they were able to achieve that ideal diet that we talk about more than anyone. There was no fast food back then, so there was nothing to tempt you. And unless you were royalty, you didn't really have honey. So, there wasn't a lot. So if you weren't able to make the diet work then, like, there's no chance of us being able to make it work now.
Yeah, or it's definitely much harder.
Yeah. Yeah. And says, what is the relationship between carnivore and menopause, women staying vital longer? And so I haven't seen any, actual like studies and research about that, but we've certainly heard a lot of anecdotal stories from people saying that, their periods returned, or, it seemed like it pushed off menopause further. So I don't know. I mean, I think that's an exciting possibility to consider.
Yeah, I definitely, that's not an area that I know much about. Um, I would like to know. I just never see the things, and I haven't specifically researched it.
Well, it's women, so I don't know that there is any research on it. There's so
That's
little
true too.
research on women's health, and then let alone on carnivore women.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. And asked about birth control and carnivore. So that I couldn't answer for you. I don't know. But we've definitely heard of a lot of people getting pregnant on going keto and carnivore. That diet really helps you to, regain fertility. So if you are trying not to get pregnant, you should be very careful and make sure that you use your whatever your barrier method, device, pill, whatever it is you're taking. Be careful with it because
Hmm.
there's a much greater chance you will get pregnant.
Yeah, carnivore increases fertility or what I should probably say is carnivore very much alleviates a lot of fertility problems.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting, one of my friends who was going through, I think she was going through IVF, but she was also seeing an acupuncturist who was helping to work with her to increase fertility. And it was interesting. The acupuncturist was, you would expect them to be like, okay, you go plant-based and this and that. But she was like, pretty much like carnivore diet.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was just, it was very old school. Like this was not, some newfangled thing, but like the things that help with fertility were, meat, fat, um,
It
no,
makes sense.
no cold foods, so not like no salads, but like maybe hot vegetables that are cooked. Yeah, so it was like, huh, good to know. It's good
Yeah,
for fertility. It's probably good for everything.
right. And that's kind of my answer to a lot of things. Like if it's good for your body overall, it's going to be good for whatever thing you're talking about, whatever
Hmm.
specific concern you have. But I guess like if you don't want to have kids, then sad diet might be the way to go.
Yeah. There's some jokes going on in the chat. So does not want to have more kids, and there's some funny jokes going on in there. Yeah.
Oh,
So
Bait
yeah,
is saying no kid 7. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. You've got
yeah,
6 already?
yeah. And all their names are in her handle, so she'd have to add
Yeah.
another letter. Um, yeah, so you just want to be careful. Make sure you use your methods. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. But again, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you can get notification. And don't forget, we have super chats available, so you can do that today too if you would like. Um, okay, so less inflammation. That is another sign that your carnivore diet is working, regardless of whether you're losing weight or not. So, what was your experience, Arian?
So mine was mainly gut inflammation, but we already talked about digestion. But what a part of inflammation that we hadn't talked about though is for me sinuses.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if I'm just one of those people that was born with a sinus that is just a little too small or something, but it does not. I feel the swelling. So I'm a little swollen right now. And I hate it. I can't stand it because I had gotten used to not having it for a while.
Wait, why are you a little swollen now?
I'm not sure. Um, I made a what probably a lot of carnivores on the go would say was a semi bad decision. I ate at Sonic this past Friday, and it was chili cheese dog. So I don't know like what was in that chili. Yeah, I didn't just want hamburgers. Like no, they've got foot long conies with chili and cheese on them. Oh, I haven't had a coney dog in
But
forever.
a chili, that could have like a million things in it that you don't want
Right.
to eat.
Right, not the best decision, not the smartest. But do you see how in a moment of not thinking like very clearly, it could seem like, oh no, this is great. I'm gonna get these 2 hot dogs. I'm gonna eat them. I didn't eat the bun, so I'm gonna be good. It's chili and cheese and meat. And I don't know if it's that or something else, but since then I've had one nostril stuffed up or some semi stuffed pretty much every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
that's
don't
not
know. I would think probably there's seed oils in there too. They're
that's what I'm
probably,
thinking.
yeah. So it's any number of things. So this is how you don't experiment because you can't figure out, you can't pinpoint what the thing is.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's so many. Oh, thanks, Cody. We got a good job sticker.
Oh, awesome. Yes. I love it. Thank you.
Um, yeah. So at first I thought it was the cheese, and then I thought, well, that there actually wasn't that much cheese on that thing, and it's like days later, and I'm still messed up. I don't think it was the cheese. I think it was probably that chili.
I would think so. I would think that more than the cheese. Yeah. All right, poor man. I'm so sorry to hear that, but hopefully you will start to feel better.
Right.
For me, the inflammation, I had a lot of inflammation in my hands. Like I said, I've mentioned many times, I struggle with uh, eczema, so, and particularly on my hands. And so my fingers can swell, the skin can, crack, and it becomes itchy and, just super uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And so that was one of the first things that I noticed is that once I went carnivore, like all of that swelling came out of my hands, and then also in my face, under my eyes, the puffiness around here, that's really kind of what went away. And it was surprising. I mean, I wasn't expecting that because I had already lost a lot of weight. I wasn't expecting to look a whole lot different, but that happened. I did end up looking quite a lot different.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've had people. I never noticed inflammation in my face, but soon after I started, I had people telling me that my face looks smaller already.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So Chase asks if carnivore increases testosterone. He turned 39 last month and is concerned about T levels taking a nosedive after a certain age. And while you answer that, I've got to get some water.
Okay. So I would totally say, yeah, that it does. Or it depends on if your testosterone levels were low before, if you would actually notice a change as far as like getting tested. And then there's all this talk of like the test will only notice the testosterone that your body like isn't using. Like it's not really, it's good to see what the difference is in your testosterone level, but if you haven't been getting it tested and you just go get tested one day, like you're not gonna know. Well, if you haven't been testing it, you go carnivore, and then all of a sudden you start getting it tested. Like those normal ranges, you may actually be fine. What am I trying to say? You'll be better off noticing your differences in how you feel, what your libido is doing, any changes in your body versus the actual testosterone test. I've just seen stuff that makes it seem like that test isn't really accurate enough for you to know that your body has an adequate amount of testosterone versus just passing the test. It definitely made a difference for me.
Good.
So I would say yes, it will. It will at the very least keep you with an adequate amount of testosterone. I don't know that it's necessarily going to raise them. I don't know that it's going to turn you into a bodybuilder or some crap like that. But it will give you a healthy level.
Yeah. Okay. So, but generally speaking, loss of inflammation is a good thing. So
Hmm.
in the beginning of of the carnivore or keto diet, usually people lose a ton of weight, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's just water," and it's like, yeah, it is just water, but that's a good thing. Like the inflammation is water, and so when you're reducing inflammation, you're reducing, a lot of the stresses that contribute to the diseases that we face today. And even remember we had Dr. Tanya come and talk to us about cancer. She's
Hmm.
a radiation oncologist, I think. Yeah, I think that's what she is. But she was saying that
I think
chronic
so.
inflammation leads to metabolic disorders, which then can lead to cancer. And and like actually, she was saying the chronic inflammation can lead to mitochondrial damage, which then can lead to cancer. And and that was like really kind of like eye-opening for me. I didn't realize that, something that we think of as sort of annoying, like really can have a very big impact on ourselves, our lives.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah, that's huge.
yeah. Um, and I see Johnny G was asking if I loaded the dishwasher. I made some soda. So you probably heard you know, the gas going in the
Hey,
water.
all up in your microphone.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't hit mute, which I should have done. So there you go. Let's see. Um, and Bea had purchased a super sticker, so thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, it's a pair character stretching his arms forward, raising his thumbs up. I love it.
Oh, that's a really cute one.
Thank you. Um,
And then
so, uh-huh.
Chase asked about plant-based oils causing IBS flares. So I can't say specifically that they do. I haven't researched that. I know that I don't have IBS flare-ups, and I stopped using all of that stuff. Um, it wouldn't surprise me if those things might be causing inflammation that are then contributing to IBS. Um, I would just say whether the answer to that question is yes or no, um, you should not be eating those oils. Except for, well, he's saying so olive oil and avocado oil. Some people have problems with those, some don't. Canola, definitely no. I can flat out say no to canola oil for you and everyone else. Avocado and olive oil may be okay, but you're gonna do best with an oil that is I mean, it's not an oil, it's a fat, it's a saturated fat. Um, get some tallow, get some bacon grease, use that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, until you feel like your stomach has stabilized, you want to have the least interesting or
Hmm.
sketchy thing possible. Just don't eat any of the things that people are like,
Right.
just don't have that until you get to a point where you feel a little bit more stable.
Yeah, like I would say anything that you have to question, you could just keep out of your diet. You could just subtract it completely. And that's why a lot of people seem to do best on a strict carnivore diet. There's just fewer questions, there's fewer things to worry about.
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay, and so let's move on to number one, the thing that you most lets you know that you're making progress on the carnivore diet, which is more energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
So, uh-huh.
being on here right now, I will probably be up for the next like 2, 3 hours at least.
Hmm.
That energy is there.
Yeah. And it's just an easy, smooth, even energy. It's not like it's not something that you notice right away. It just kind of goes on and on and on. And I just feel like, I can just keep going, like without stopping.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like oh, I got a sugar high and now I'm like I have a mania for a while. I'm frantic. I got to do all the things right now. It doesn't feel like that. It's just this easy, even level of energy that doesn't really go away. Now I just told you I took a nap. That's because I'm sleeping stupidly right now. That is me right now being stupid. But other than that, like when I'm on it and I'm going to sleep at my good time, at least a few days a week. It doesn't even have to be every night, but if I'm doing that like half the week, my energy is even and perfect. And it's energy to the point of people on the Zooms know that I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to like, I'm getting tired of sitting down for all that time. I want to get up.
Yeah.
I want to get up and move. I can't just sit for a couple hours straight.
Yeah. I know, right? Isn't that interesting? Like it used to be I could sit all day and, it was just like it's not too much. But
Hmm.
now I definitely feel like that. I definitely like I want to be sitting and focused on my project or whatever it is I want to do, but my body's like, I want to get up. I want to. We got to do it.
Yeah. So what I find is during those times I will get up, but I'll try to think about the thing that I feel like doing. Like it's the thing that
Uh-huh.
I wanted to do. Body just is not feeling it right now. So okay, I got to get up from the computer or get up from the couch, but I'll still have my mind on whatever that thing is and try to do some strategic planning or something.
Yeah.
Or I'll just do some housework. That happens too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, Leon, thank you so much. I another super sticker. That's so awesome. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the love.
Nice. Thank you, Leon.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other thing about more energy, why it's so important too, is that it's a reflection of us getting healthier. So, what it says to me too is that my body is finally getting good at burning fat for energy, and it feels like it has a steady supply. So there's no dips, there's no moments where it's like, you don't have enough energy, cravings,
Hmm.
cravings, just to get me some energy quick. None of that is going on, and it's just even. There's no ups and downs, nothing.
Right.
And that's awesome, and I love that feeling, and that's a great sign.
Yeah. And that I feel like I don't know enough to say this for sure, but it feels also to me like what that means is it's not. So there's the fat adaptation, which also means that your body has an even level of insulin throughout the day.
Hmm.
Now you're going to eat and it's going to go up a little bit and then it's going to go back down. And it doesn't take much insulin to do that. And you definitely don't have this spike in like a spike in blood sugar and then a spike in insulin that corresponds to it, and then a corresponding trough in blood sugar. And because there was too much insulin and like you're even the whole time. So at no point are you like in that trough, you're hypoglycemic and now your body has no energy. And then that's when you get kids that have a sugar high and then they just pass out after. Or I knew one kid in school who was hypoglycemic and he had like basically tantrums throughout the day. So he had to carry around food to eat because if his blood sugar got too low, he became a real asshole. Like he was already kind of a jerk and it just got way worse when that was happening. Like, but if you're just even the whole time, that's not happening. You're not getting hypoglycemic ever.
So people were like, "Hey, Johnny, can I get you some candy? Just can you chill out? Can I give you
Right.
some candy? Like,
Right.
what's
Like
the
let me
problem?"
I'll go to my locker and get my lunch. Just whatever we got to do. Yeah.
You need
But
candy.
he walked around with a bag of, you know what they gave him? The healthy food? Fruit. So he's got like apples and grapes and whatever else in this like plastic bag that he was allowed to walk around with while none of the rest of us were allowed to eat because he was hypoglycemic.
A little bitter, you sound.
Well, there is that. There's just like I remember it being so new. Just why does he have food? What is he's allowed to eat? We don't get to yeah.
Yeah.
And you're a kid, so you just want everything to be equal. And really what you mean by equal is either I want the privileges or no one has privileges.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm also thinking now like, what if they had put that kid on a low carb diet?
Hmm.
On a carnivore diet? What if they told him instead of that, well, we're gonna instead of the fruit, you have this pile of jerky that your mom made, and you can walk around with that throughout the day.
He's probably a incredibly delightful person. He's discovered low carb on his own, or perhaps even carnivore, and he's probably a really delightful person. You're just
That
smudging his old character, but he's probably so awesome now.
If I can remember his last name, I feel like looking him up to find out.
Yeah. Find out.
Hmm.
Virginia says the bitterness is strong within him. Yeah.
No
Um,
shame in my game.
yeah. And I see Bayet Inspo asks, height training on carnivore diet, discuss.
Uh,
I don't
you might
know.
got the wrong two hosts for that one.
Yeah. If Raven were here, or Black Passport Fit, you could ask him, but I don't think he's here now. But Raven, if you're listening, jump in the chat and answer
Right.
that question because I don't know. I can't. I
I
would
mean,
think that you can do just about anything on the carnivore diet. Like I see a lot of athletes who are trying to push back and say that it is possible to build muscle, to build strength, and to build mass while on a carnivore diet.
yeah.
So,
So height is high intensity interval training, right?
mhm.
So, isn't that basically like all really intense exercise? Like you
It's
work
short.
out till you're tired, you take a break, and then you go right back to it.
Well, it's really short bursts of really high intensity exercise, like running all out for 30 seconds and then walking
Hmm.
for a minute and then, doing intervals like that. So, it's meant to burn off like your glucose and your short, the fuel that your body carries that's for high intense bursts of exercise.
Hmm.
So, like, that extra burst you get when, if you're being chased down by a lion or you've been in a car accident, you've got to lift the car off of somebody, like
Right.
that kind of energy comes from those stores that we hold. And I would think that if your body is functioning properly and you're doing the carnivore diet properly, those stores get filled. I mean, our livers continue to create glucose, so we have that store in our body to be able to do those really intense bursts of exercise.
Hmm.
So I would think it's okay that you should be able to do it.
Yeah, and I think he's wondering if it's like well, I assume bait is a man, but actually I don't know. I think they're wondering if carnivore is like good or bad for it, and I would think the same with anything else. Like my answer is kind of the same for everything. Yes, it's good. It's good for you. So it's good for whatever exercise you want to do. I don't see any reason why being carnivore, having that flat energy that is always high, being able to reach into your fat stores when you need to, would make it harder for you to do. Apparently, it's called HIT training. That doesn't make sense. It's two I's. It shouldn't be HIT. HIT is HIT. But whatever. Um, I don't see any reason why carnivore would make it harder for you to do that.
Hmm.
And I would think carnivore being the way of eating that is most natural for humans, it should make you better.
Yeah, I would think so too. I don't know. Johnny G has asked if we drink coffee. And amazingly, no. As of
Well,
like a month ago, 3 weeks ago, gee, I should look on my app, see what day I'm on actually.
wait, so you have an app that's tracking your coffee fasting?
Yeah, what?
What app is this?
Uh, it's Countdown and Up that I'm using. So it's been
Oh,
24 days of no coffee.
wow. So I do drink coffee
Oh, and
now.
900 of no drinking,
Oh, nice.
unless the smelling counts, which I don't know. I don't know now.
I wouldn't think that would count totally.
Okay, so
But
900.
yeah, I'd count that like an accidental um exposure to alcohol.
Yeah, accidental exposure.
Um what were we talking about? Oh, coffee. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so I have reintroduced coffee. I'm drinking very low amounts. I'm drinking, so my coffee is half strength now. And of that half strength, regular coffee, I'm not having more than probably 2 cups in a day.
So you're back on coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep it in the morning. It kind of, I see how light it is now. Like now going back to having half strength, it's like, oh, this is, it actually is refreshing again,
Hmm.
as opposed to being so strong.
Hmm. Well, good. Yeah, I'm off it, so I'm good. Yeah.
And it
Virginia
feels good.
says accidentally on purpose exposure. Yeah. It's accidental. I didn't think that it was actually exposure. It's just smelling,
Right.
but evidently it
People
can.
smell. I mean, if that's the case, then every time you go outside, or a lot of times, you are using tobacco, which is kind of true in a way, but also kind of unfair for the person who quit smoking and then smells a cigarette and, well, now I got to start my counter over.
Well, that's why they changed the laws and like got rid of all the smoking in New York because people are getting secondhand and third-hand smoke, which we just learned about, which is a that's when the particles from the cigarette smoke land on fabric, chairs, curtains and stuff. And as you sit on and touch those things, you're again interacting.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh my God, we got another super chat. Angel Life, you are so awesome. 9.99, amazing. I really appreciate it so
Wow.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah. So, so that brings us to the end of our list. That's all 5 things that you'll notice that improve when you go carnivore. So even if you haven't lost weight yet, like if these things are happening, your life is getting better. You will have more energy. You're going to feel less inflamed. Your libido is going to return, which is, fun. um, your sleep gets better, so you won't be tired, and it'll be easier for you to follow your program. Your digestion will improve, so you'll be comfortable like going. Well, not that we can go places, but you'll be comfortable not feeling like your stomach is iffy.
I mean,
So
you may go somewhere by yourself or be socially distanced out in a place. Can't go anywhere far. Well, that's going to be hard. I mean, you can get on planes, but I don't recommend it.
yeah, well, yeah, not ready to travel just yet. But so anyway, yeah, definitely these are some things. And you know, let's see, I see Johnny G is trying to quit coffee at the moment or quit something. Are you talking about coffee or alcohol?
I think it is coffee.
Okay. So yeah, stay strong. Stay strong. It doesn't take that long. I mean, maybe a week, but soon enough, it'll be a thing of the past. And
Yeah, I,
I have been being so strict lately that it is that it really it's I haven't been this strict in a long time, like with no herbs and spices, no, not even pepper, just salt and a piece of meat, and
hmm.
that's it. And you guys have seen what I've been doing with my sauces and trying to get my sauces together, but it's still just pan drippings and fat.
Yeah, and it works. I just kind of, I don't know if I just wanted to follow you guys or I just fell into it, but yeah, I haven't used any spice in probably 2 or 3 weeks now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
not eating just beef. I do have pork sometimes, but I'm not adding. I mean, no, normally that's bacon. I'm not adding anything to that. And I had lamb today, and I
Mhm.
just added salt, and it tasted delicious. Like all this food, like we said last week, all this food tastes good with just salt. You don't need to doctor the things up. And I know for some people that hurts because they want to be creative,
Yeah.
but I don't. Maybe you got to find another creative outlet,
Yeah.
or maybe you can add the spices and they're not bugging you, and that's fine. But I know for me, sometimes I like the simplicity.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think that these things probably do hurt, And it just depends on, how much they hurt. And for some people, it's just, so negligible as to not be noticeable. And then for other
Mhm.
people, it really is noticeable. But I think it's worth doing for a significant chunk of time. And the thing that too that got me like reignited is I don't know if any of you follow. I think he's called Itchy Dan on
Mm.
Instagram. So he had really bad eczema. I mean, I think mine is bad. Mine is not bad. What he had was bad, really
Mm.
bad. And I remember when he first started his account and got started, and the pictures in the early days, it was like, oh, like that is hard. And now it's like all gone, all gone. I
Really?
mean, all gone. And I'm like, oh my God, wow. So this whole time, I think he was like pretty much beef, salt, and water. So, he was really strict for a long time. So it's kind of like, there is definitely power in doing this for a long time to undo, or to heal something significant that's going on.
Yeah.
But there's got to be your motivation. Like his situation was bad, so he was highly motivated. But if you're like, if you're what you're dealing with is minor, or it's not really impacting like the fun aspects of your life, then maybe you're like, oh, whatever, not that big a deal.
Yeah. Like I don't have the long term the long term chronic inflammation that's so bad that I have to like I would really think about like, oh, I need to do this for the next however long until something goes away. For me, it's just kind of I like how simple it is, and I don't know if I'll feel any different. So I'm just wondering. It's an experiment, but
Hmm.
yeah, I could see that taking a while to heal, especially like if you've had eczema like your whole life or something. Who
Yeah,
knows how long that could take to heal?
yeah. Well, so I'm giving myself like 90 days. I'm gonna do it, and kind of go from there. I
Mhm.
did have pork today, and I had it over the weekend. So I got pork steaks from Belcampo, and they are pork copa steaks, and that cut is like the ribeye of the steak. I mean, of the pig, and and I love it. So I had to
Mm.
have it, but it was fresh pork, and actually, I don't think I had a reaction to it.
Mm.
So I think, when it's fresh pork, it's probably fine. It's just the baconness, the pork rindness, it's the processingness that makes it, much more of a problem.
The aged porkness.
Yeah. So,
That makes perfect sense.
yeah. I did make some jerky, and I think I told you guys, or no, maybe I didn't. My dog ate it on Sunday night or Saturday night while I was on a podcast interview. And later on, I look and I notice a plastic Ziploc baggie, or part of one that's been partly eaten,
Oh
in
no.
her little bed, and I realized that was the jerky. And this was over a pound of meat that had been made into jerky. Even her stomach protruded. I could see that she had eaten all of this. And I was like, oh my God. And partly
Yo.
I think she did it because she saw me eating it and feels that it is her food. And so it's kind of like, why are you eating my food? I don't eat your food except when I beg for it, but I don't go in the fridge. Stay out of my food.
Yo, so she saw you eating what she claimed is hers, and she grabbed that bag and she absconded with it to her bed so that she could eat it in private
Mhm.
and punish the whole bag.
Yeah. And ate the bag too.
Well, yeah, yeah, because
Yeah.
ain't nobody got time for opening bags out here. There's jerky in there. I'm gonna get to
Yeah. Yeah. So
it.
on so on I guess that was Saturday night. So on Sunday she fasted the whole day unwillingly. But I was like, you ate your meal. So,
You
yeah,
punished her for doing what she's meant to do.
it was too much food. And I'm like, when you get diarrhea, I don't want to have to walk you at whatever time of night. And I
Mhm.
didn't notice at first, but she was drinking a lot of water. And now I realize because the jerky was kind of salty. And she even went and peed in my bathroom because she had to go because she drank so much water because of all of the jerky. And I
Mm.
was like, oh, just all of this. Why? Just stay out of the jerky.
You gotta put it up on a higher counter or something. You gotta hide
Yeah,
it.
top of the fridge. Now, top of the
Yeah.
fridge. But I don't know. I might not be making jerky for a little while. Like this, it's a whole debacle.
That would kill me. Actually, I bought 3 different chuck roasts today, and I plan on making jerky out of at least 2 of them. And I can just imagine if a whole one was just gone. Like all jerky is great. Jerky takes work though. It's not as simple as just putting something into a thing and some salt and cooking it. Like you have to slice it into those thin slices and lay them out so that they all have exposure to the air so they'll
Hmm.
dry out evenly. And to do all that and then your dog just eats it all.
Hmm. Yeah.
That wouldn't be
Well,
fun.
I had made two, so I had already eaten quite a bit of it, so it was okay. It's not that I didn't get any, but this is still supposed to last. I mean, it
Oh.
was like, 2 pounds of meat that I made.
So she saw you having your meal and said, "Oh, so that must be Ruby's jerky over here." Because that was 8 days jerky, and that's done. So this is mine. You had yours. You just forgot to give it to me. That's all.
Yeah, okay. Um, so let's see. The other thing I wanted to mention, so we were talking. So for those of you guys watching, I am curious about your opinion because when I was making the thumbnail tonight,
Oh,
I wanted to choose an image that reflected relaxation. And I was talking about that with Arian, and he was like, "Well, you could like if you had someone in a bathtub eating a steak, like that would, that's relaxation for carnivore." And I was like, "Oh, eating in the bathroom? Like who does that? That is not relaxing for me." Considering all the things that happen in the bathroom, like I don't want food in there.
but you're
So
not eating off the toilet.
it's just like the whole room, the space. So let me know what you guys think. Put it in the chat. Or do you eat in the
Right.
bathroom or not?
And also, while you're at it, are you a germaphobe? Because I feel like that's an important that gives important context to that whole question, that whole conversation. And Ada, you can answer now. Do you consider yourself, have you ever been called a germaphobe?
I have not been called a germaphobe at all, and I don't think it is a germaphobe thing to not want to eat in the bathroom.
I, I don't think it is, but I would be, my guess is more germaphobes would be totally against the idea.
Perhaps. Now, in my efforts to make the thumbnail, I came across a picture of someone eating in the bathtub, and I thought this was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. So you tell me, does that appeal to you? Do you desire to eat tacos in the bathtub in your
See,
pajamas, and God knows what else is in there. Does that appeal to you?
right. Yeah. So that one was weird. The woman, she had on like, she still had her underwear on and she's in the tub, like eating tacos out of a styrofoam container. So like I bought some tacos and then I brought them into my tub. The water in the tub is like white and milky looking, and there's these like I guess flower petals on the water, so it looks like fruity pebbles. Like it, there's the picture. Like why is that? It's so weird. Everything about this picture is wrong. It's wrong, wrong. Like why is that water milky?
I'm sure there's some kind of milk, or maybe coconut milk, a can of coconut milk that was mixed in.
Yeah. Like that is just weird to me. What I
So,
was talking about was some good, clean, like, and this is what I don't understand actually. So some of y'all folks will actually drink in the tub. Like you would like take a glass of wine or something and sit in the tub and drink that, but you wouldn't eat. You're still consuming things that are exposed to the air of the bathroom. So what is the
I
where's
think,
the
hey,
problem?
I don't know. It's just, like
Oh,
I think
it's
this is ingrained in us not to eat around the places that we eliminate or get clean.
and see that makes perfect sense to me. I just want some consistency. Like, why are you doing why are you drinking in there if you can't eat in there? What's the difference?
And Johnny G says, video, are you new to carnivore? Thumbnail, eating a steak on the toilet.
That would be perfect.
Oh my God, that would be so gross. From mouth to toilet, like straight through. Do not, do not stop.
Oh,
Oh yeah, no, no, no. So okay, we are agreed then. Eating in the bathroom, not your thing, not my thing, but it is your thing.
well,
So
hold on. I didn't say that I do it. I said that it makes sense, or I think that that would be a good photo of a carnivore relaxing, like in the tub with a steak. I don't know that it's a thing I would ever do, but I can't flat out say it's something I wouldn't do on a regular basis. No, it's not my idea of. For me, the most relaxing is it's what I did today. I cooked that lamb chop. I sat on the couch, had my tablet playing a video, and just ate. Just went to town on that thing.
nice, excellent.
Yeah. I don't really get why everyone is so against eating in the tub.
Well, says kitchens are actually dirtier than bathrooms. I guess that's why in New York, so many of the bathtubs were in the kitchen.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah. I mean, in the old buildings, bathrooms, like plumbing, for either the kitchen or the toilet was, that came up in one place. So that's where all of those
Mm.
things happened. The bathroom was next to the kitchen and the bathtub was in the kitchen.
Okay, that's odd.
So I mean, a lot of places have been renovated and stuff like that, so they've gotten rid of that, but there's still old apartments where yes, the bathtub is in the kitchen.
And see, it makes sense until you say the bathtub is in the kitchen. Like the pipes all being in the same spot, so then your bathtub is next to your kitchen. Okay, smart. Yeah. You want your hot water all coming into one spot. You want your cold water all in one spot. That just makes sense from like a logistical, I guess, architectural perspective. But if the bathroom is next door, if it's the next room over, just put the tub in there. Why is my tub next to my fridge?
Because the bathroom used to be called the water closet. It was just one thing in there, a toilet. But
Oh,
you're not familiar with slums, I guess, or last century or 19th century slums where,
no.
the apartment was one room, and the kitchen was an area, and the toilet was maybe down the hall or right next to your kitchen, and the
Mm.
bathtub was in the, kitchen area of the large room that held 10 people.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no. Never lived like that. I'm lucky
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. Oh, and Virginia says in the olden days, the bathtub was used to wash clothes, dishes, and bathe.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, when I was in Amsterdam, it was very common. There they had these old kitchens where the sinks were huge. Like you could actually bathe like a 7-year-old child in there comfortably.
Hmm.
And they were used for bathing, washing clothes, washing things and dishes and everything else. So, yeah, it's just, it's sort of a modern notion of having these separate rooms for these things. And when I
That
actually,
makes sense.
yeah, and when I was in Amsterdam, like every place had a bathroom, like a closet,
Hmm.
literally a closet that had a toilet in it, and then there would be a sink outside. Or if there was a sink in there, they have like mastered making tiny sinks that are like this big, that might fit into a corner, like literally this big. The basin
Uh,
is just that big. But there were many a time that I'd go into a bathroom and like I couldn't quite close the door because my knees, like there wasn't enough room to sit down and close the door. That small. Yeah. Um,
Jeez.
and then the shower might be in a different room, or if there were a bathtub, it would be in a different room. So,
Okay, so how about that? Back to the eating in the bathroom, or specifically the tub. So what if your toilet's in a whole different room? What if your bathtub is in your kitchen? Is it still all totally against the rules to eat in the tub?
I'd feel more comfortable with that. I just don't want to be eating next to the toilet.
Hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I did remember reading a study one time where there was an argument about whether you could. Somebody had gotten it sick at an airport with like some kind of stomach flu, and then people who came into the bathroom afterwards, the question was, could they get sick just from the aerosolized, waste that was being produced? And in fact, people
Hmm.
did get sick. And
Oh,
yeah, so, I mean, that's assuming like, I mean, I don't know how long these, you know, bacteria or viruses, whatever, would live or on a surface.
hmm.
So, assuming nobody is sick in your household, maybe that's not, really a reasonable concern. But, it generally speaking, like it's, as Angel Life says, there's an old famous saying, not to blank where you eat.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. This is true. Hey, I'm not saying I'm not advocating for people to do. I just the idea sounds kind of relaxing to me.
Yeah. So Angel Life says, I've been in such apartments in the Village, Lower East Side. They were two big rooms, and the bathroom was shared with other tenants down the hallway. Yeah, absolutely. So Angel Life, that's exactly what I'm thinking about, those apartments on the Lower East Side.
That does not sound fun. No, the closest I got to that was being in college, and we shared a bathroom with the dorm
Yeah.
across the hall. Like me, my dorm, which is me and my roommate, and the dorm across the hall was that those two roommates. We all shared the same bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. So Bayed asked why the Dutch, why they have such small water closets, and they're pretty tall. Yeah, they are exceptionally tall and big people. Just space saving. Like they just don't want to expend money and resources on a larger room for the toilet.
Hmm.
So yeah,
And I guess it makes sense if like I mean if you're generally healthy, like you're not spending a lot of time in there, and it's literally a water closet, so you're not like
yeah,
you're not on there for a ton of time. You're not like I can be uncomfortable for this little amount of time. My legs all swells up and my knees are banging against each other because like I'm gonna get this done and it's gonna be a healthy poo or pee and then I'm out of here.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, more or less. So it wasn't, it wasn't meant to be a long experience, but
Yeah, like it is kind
nonetheless,
of like now our luxury apartments have like really huge bathrooms. And I don't know about you, but like I don't spend a ton of time in my bathroom. I think it's probably more for women, especially the ones who are doing their makeup in the mirror. But
yeah,
like I'm in my bathroom for maybe a half hour out of each day.
mm, yeah,
Like it's not a long time. So that room shouldn't take up a lot of space.
yeah. Well, I do like to take baths. I do like to put on makeup in the mirror. I do like to do things to my hair, So, yeah, I'm in the bathroom. So, keeping it clean, like to do that.
Right.
Okay, and Johnny G says, let's not talk food again after all this poo talk. Yeah, yeah, you're right. So, anyway, we should probably wrap this up. We have had a good time tonight,
We
And
have.
yeah, and one more time, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you can get notification every time we go live. So, you know, you want to support the live stream so it can continue to grow and expand.
Hmm. Yeah, hit the like button. We appreciate everybody who sent the super stickers and chats
Yeah.
in. The link is at the top for the, and I'll put it in right now actually too. The Patreon, bunch of different ways you can support. And if not, we're very happy to have you anyway.
Yeah.
It's not a situation. Don't feel bad that you can't.
Yeah. We always want to provide free content because we want to make sure as many Black carnivores who need to come to this are able to and have the support they need. So we're here
Right.
for you. All right, everybody. So have a great night, and we will see you on Thursday. Enjoy. All
Yes.
right. Bye.
Peace.